Hey, good morning. I'm trying to do an update to a video I did a while back. So this is where I nurse now because I was giving myself a bad back from crouching over. And with larger litters, like this litter was taking me 4 hours to get the little CCs into them because these go where are we? Very slowly at only a point 1, point 2 ml. Versus the larger syringes, which will make the babies aspirate. So if I was trying to get 3 of these into them each time, that was taking me about 4 hours to do it slowly. With this litter, because 5 out of 6 really wanted to aspirate. They really just wanted to give me a very difficult time. So I was going very slowly and gave myself a bad back. So I now have a nice little back support behind me here to give me more protection. These babies just did their PP 500. And this one's like, where's the food? Where's the food? Where's the food? So that's what we're going to do in a few minutes. I have to weigh them all first, but I did want to show you. I updated the way I heat my milk. I found one of these guys. So the brand name is Sultan. I'm sure it doesn't have to be Sultan, but that is the brand name, and it heats it to about drinking temperature. So it ends up working really well. If I just pull a syringe out, let it stay in the air for a moment or two, and then check my wrists and feed them. But they are only a couple days ago transferred onto 3 cc's at a time. And I'll show you that syringe. It's this guy. And I've been trying to find these online because they are an O-ring, a silicone O-ring. So instead of having multiple bumps, it just has the single bump. I haven't been able to find them online, but my pharmacy has them for medications that have to stay in the dark, liquid medications. So far, that's the only place I've found them. Sorry. Gotta move this a little closer. There we go. So I have this cup full of water. Oops, baby. This cup full of water. And then inside that, I have the formula. Kind of like a, what do you call it? The double broiler. And you have to excuse me, for some of you, if you know me in person, I'm epileptic. I had a seizure recently, and so words are just very hard to grasp. I know what I'm talking about, but the words are very hard to grasp. I might say the wrong word and then realize it and come back to that in a second. I'm not crazy. My brain is farting. So I'm going to start with these guys by weighing them. And so what I do is I do a previous to feeding and I do a post to feeding. And with these guys, it's a little bit of a crazy show because, as I said, they've been just trying to force my hand at failure here. So I've had to feed them multiple times a day. Some of them will refuse to eat when I'm feeding everybody else. I have to come back and feed them again. It's been a 12-hour-a-day job. I've never had such a large litter at one time, and I've never had such difficult babies all at once. Usually there's 1 or 2, but no, it was almost all of them. Except for, where are you? This cutie, who might have a brain thing. So this is Shaky, and Shaky's been my best baby. So I'll pause you here and I'll get set up. Okay, so I have switched up what I do now. Yes, I'm coming to you. You guys are all hungry, I know. This is called a Javex Static-Matic. I like the fabric is a lot denser, and I like the weave is a lot denser, so it stops the milk from going stops the milk from going everywhere. I got 3 in there? I got 3 in there. Hi. So as you can see, with eyes open, these guys are now a lot better at being fed. I'm going to start with you since you've been concerning me. But they're still troublesome. So this guy sneezes on everything. I'm putting one finger on either side of his hand, or his head, sorry. And I'm just doing a little squirt, and then I'm waiting while he digests that. And then a little squirt, and then I'm waiting while he digests it. Okay. Because this one takes the longest. I can get him done quicker than everybody else. Put him back away. Then he gets a second feed when I'm done with everyone else as well. Getting better. Do you want to try standing? I'm constantly watching his nostrils because he oftentimes will backfill up his nose because he gets so excited. Like that. And try again. If he starts to sneeze, then I have to suck it out like you would for a baby. That's his current face. And it's gone down his chin a bit, so I'm going to wipe that. And refill because it's gotten cool. You can tell that this is about an hour delayed because of filming today for setup. They're not used to having to wait. And we just had daylight savings time. That was yesterday. You have to swallow it, buddy. Come on. So I'm giving him about 1 cc in a squirt towards the back cheek. Like if, instead of going right back towards his trachea. No, so I'm just going on an angle and I'm aiming towards the back of his cheek here. So that if he does happen to breathe by accident, it won't go shooting down his trachea. It's just going to be in the front and probably go up his nose, which is my goal for anything he might accidentally thing. I don't want it coming out of his nose constantly. So I'm just going behind his front buck teeth and I'm aiming towards the opposite side mouth, cheek pocket. And eventually the babies get used to this and they will just grab the syringe nipple with their front teeth and chug. And I'll allow them to try suckling that way and I'll go very, very slow for them. But these guys haven't quite reached that yet. He just attempted it but didn't do a very good job. So we went back to the cheek pocket again. He's not liking it, so I'm going to pause, wipe his mouth. So we're almost done our second syringe. So this is almost done 6 cc's. He's starting to slow down. He's not starting to drink it as much. He's just letting it come out of his mouth. But he's going after on the claw, so I'll keep going. Again, he's just letting it come out. So wait for a second. I'm going to put the syringe in front of him and see if he still wants it. No, he's starting to wander. So we're going to put him back now and start with the next one. I'll pause here. Oh, yes, and weigh him now to see what he's at before he pees. Oops. Okay, so he's gained 5. I'm writing that down in a red pen, and then we're going to feed him again at noon and try to get some more into him and aim for 13 cc's today, 12 to 13, because oftentimes he will just spit it up so as I'm feeding him. But that is good for him. Usually he's a 3 cc at a time bunny. He'll just spit everything everywhere. So 5, I'm happy, because he's been like 4 feedings a day. Okay, so I'm going to go through the rest and get to the end here. Okay, so everybody else is done now. They're having a rest. I did want to show you this. We use Wambaroo, and Wambaroo is from Australia. We have it imported through Perfect Pets in the US. That's the best price that we have found, but we get it in the 1 kilo box, which is a 2.2 pound box. I cut this off the 2.2 pound box and I framed it, and what it has is the goals for how much they should eat per their body weight every day. So right now, everybody is under 80 grams. So I'm going for about 10 grams, because it's supposed to be 11 if you're 80 grams. I have contacted the company before, and it's basically each time you go down 10 grams, you minus 1 mil of food. So they're all sitting around 70 to 75 grams. So I'm giving them minimal 10 mils of food. If they want a bit more, I will, but I won't let them pig out, because if you give them too much, they can get diarrhea. So yesterday, I lost count at one point, and one of the bunnies got 16. That was Shaky. Shaky is a pig, but Shaky is also at 80 grams now, so he's not as bad as the others. But this is great to have on hand, because you can always sort of like oh, they might need this, oh, they might need that. Well, most people are using where'd it go now? Well, I had the 1 mil syringe. Most people are using that 1 mil syringe, and they think the baby is done after 1 or 2 mils when they're like itty bitty, because the babies don't want the syringe. They fight the syringe. Well, in actuality, most babies that I get when they're newborn are about 40 to 50 grams, which means they should get 4 to 5 mils of formula a day. But most babies, if they're being fed by a new person, they're getting maybe 1 in the morning, maybe 1 at night. And that's why they pass, is they're not getting enough nutrition. Also, people are using puppy milk or Espalac. You don't use that for a rabbit. It's not even close to what they need. The closest thing, if you can't get an official formula, would be kitten milk replacer, KMR. You get the 11-ounce liquid, just a can. Put that into a container. Then you get 1 tablespoon of unwhipped, unsweetened whipping cream, and you add that. And you have to add it because they need the extra fat. The kitten milk replacer doesn't have enough. So that is the closest you can get to a formula, if it's not an official formula, that I would suggest. I'll try to do some more updated videos for this kind of thing, and I hope that was helpful. I have found that the drink heater, the Sultan drink heater that I'm using now, is a lot more accurate of a temperature to be using compared to the crock pot, the mini crock pot I was using before for sauces. That one was good in a pinch, but the Sultan, it's really a no-brainer. I don't have to think too much about it. I just turn it on. It keeps the milk warm, and yeah, like I said, a double boiler technique as well. So I'm not putting the milk directly on it. I have it in a glass of water, and the water is what's sitting directly on the Sultan. But any questions, please pop them in the comments. Thanks so much.